Clear.
Mexico Memorial Airport. Automated weather observation. 1530 Zulu weather. Wind 150 at 13. Visibility 7. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 15 Celsius. Dew point 5. Altimeter 3005.
Mexico, traffic experimental 750 Super Duty is going to be back taxiing for 18 Mexico.
Oh, hi, I'm Sebastien, and I'm together here with Roger, and we're going to go flying now. And we're in the STOL CH 750 Super Duty, and it's April 2nd, 2020, and this is right amidst this whole coronavirus pandemic going on right now. So we're going to go up our flight and update you a little bit with what Zenith is doing and what we can do for our customers and those that are building and flying airplanes and those that are enthusiasts following us what we do.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
And we're kind of spoiled out here. We got a beautiful day to go flying. A little bit of wind, but still a beautiful day. And so we're going to take the opportunity to do that, and at the same time share with you what's going on with Zenith.
Well, I need to keep up my flying skills with everything. We're not going to Sun and Fun, and so
yeah, it's easy to get. To kind of, in this time right now, to do absolutely nothing. And while we do want to isolate and not spread the virus, at the same time, we need to stay active and get on with our lives and don't let our spirits go down too much. So we're definitely going to take this opportunity and go fly.
All right, we did a run up there. Going to lower the flaps 4 to 5 degrees, get a little better takeoff. Controls clear and free. Got the gas on the fullest tank. Doors locked secure. And we'll just let the oil warm up just a little bit more. Right now we've got the unpanel for evolution.
Yeah,
which makes it really nice to
absolutely
move it around. It gives you plenty of forward room and lots of visibility.
And you'll notice I've got the camera mounted on top, actually on the panel itself. This camera here, this is an old Garmin Verb camera. We use that to do a lot of our videos. So as we move the panel, you can kind of see it move with it. So.
Yeah, I think that's the first time you've mounted it there. So
yeah, I think so. Just always, always playing around with different mounting positions and so forth. So.
Right. We can either take off from the hard surface, the grass. I don't think it's too wet today, so you want to try the grass today?
Yeah, that's always more fun to do. This type of airplane is better suited for off-airport operations, so it's always nicer to fly it in the environment where it's kind of meant to be flown in. It's nice and soft ground right now.
Right, and it hadn't been cut, so we're probably, probably 5, 6, 7 inches.
Yeah, and you can tell it's really soft. We've had a lot of rain here, but it'll good environment to demonstrate short takeoff and landing on grass.
Right, so I'll walk you through it. What I like to do is I like to have a little bit of flaps, stick all the way back, all at full power, brakes, release, nose comes up. And it's going to take a little bit of more drag on the grass, probably 10% more.
Right. The nose wheel sure came off the ground quickly, didn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, very quick.
Didn't take any time at all.
And we'll bring up the flaps. And you could be more aggressive, have the nose up higher, but as far as your takeoff distance, it's just not going to change much. You just need to get that forward movement. Doesn't matter if the nose is up or lower.
Yeah, very capable little airplane, isn't it?
Oh yes.
And man, I sure love the open visibility here with the panel like that, because even where I'm sitting here, I'm on the right side of the airplane. I get like left seat visibility as a pilot nearly, but really good visibility into my turn, into the left-hand turn where we're in the pattern.
Right, exactly.
Oh, awesome. Well, anyway, again, we feel fortunate we're able to, be flying today, and this is for Roger and I, this is nearly a regular work day, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
And we're in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic going on, and it'll be interesting to see, a month or 2 or 3 months from now, looking back on this, we really, every day is new information, and living every day at a time with this. But I think it's also important for us to continue to go on as usual as much as we can. Of course, we do need to socially distance ourselves wherever we can, and to limit the spread of the virus, because we certainly don't want to be irresponsible from that standpoint. But at the same time, also where we are able to keep our factory open right now and deliver kits to customers, parts, and so forth. You're available to answer all the phone calls, not only for new orders, but importantly also to provide ongoing support to builders. And that's obviously a very important part of it.
Right. And you and I, we're together right now, but we're together so much, it's not going to make any difference to socially distance each other.
At this point, not. That's for sure. That's for sure. But but we've both been self-isolating as much as practical as well. And so, which is why we're doing our part. Now, one thing we did announce yesterday, April 1st, was we had a workshop, a standard Zenith workshop scheduled for April 23rd and 24th of this month. And with all this going on, we didn't cancel the workshop, but what we did is we really changed the format of the workshop. And rather than cancel it, what we've done is changed it to a online, virtual, live workshop. And so what we'll be doing, instead of having customers come to us, traveling from around the country, sometimes even around the world, to attend the workshop at our factory, is we are instead shipping out the rudder starter kit, which is what we build at the workshop, and we're shipping those out to customers, and then using live media broadcasting through the internet, we're going to broadcast the actual whole workshop. So we're going to stand in front of a camera and then have ways of interacting with the customers and guide them through the entire process of building the rudder. So I think that'll be a fun way to still keeping on building the airplane and learning about building and flying an airplane, even though we don't want to be traveling too much this time of the year. And it's been unfortunate because a lot of events have been canceling left and right. Sun and Fun announced that they were canceling, and so forth. So and obviously some events there's no way of doing it virtually. But a workshop, we're going to try it out and see how that goes. So number one, I encourage if you're looking at building a rudder, this is maybe a great opportunity to do that. And they may be the first of additional virtual workshops, or it may be a one-of historical event for us that we're doing at one time that way. And we've got 3 weeks between now and then, so we've got plenty of time to order the rudder, have it shipped to you. Also, we're going to figure out exactly the logistics of how we're going to be broadcasting that. It looks like maybe YouTube Live or Zoom or one of these live teleconferencing type of broadcast methods. So definitely looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot of customers calling me for tech support or ordering small parts. And I tell you, in the last week and a half, I have sold quite a few instrument packages. So the instrument companies are still supplying all the instruments, Garmin and Dynon. So you guys, you're up to the point you need to do your engine and instruments. Things are still available.
Right, and that's good. That's good to hear. There are going to be some disruptions in the logistics and the flow of some distribution and even production on some items. But I think it's going to be very temporary from what we're seeing. I know China is starting to ship again and so forth. And for us, we've always done pretty much all the manufacturing in-house ourselves. We don't rely on outsourcing parts, whether it's outsourcing out of the country or outsourcing even to outside suppliers. So we have a much better control over what we can supply our customers. customers. And again, here in Missouri, we're in central Missouri, in Audrain County, Mexico, Missouri. To date, there haven't been any cases of the coronavirus. So, which is why we continue to go to work every day. We do, we are taking precautions, social distancing, and sanitation and so forth. But at the same time, see no reason at this point to cease operations, because it just doesn't seem to be warranted at this point. So definitely continue to do that. And again, for customers, again, as we self-isolate, this is actually a good opportunity to be working on an airplane, because you'll be working on your airplane in your garage, in your basement, in your shop, even at the hangar at the airport. And it's really a good time to be working, to do that. Stay active. I find it personally. I find it if I sit in front of the TV for any amount of time, I find it depressing. And there's so much different information out there. You don't even know what to think anymore. On the one hand, you want to completely self-isolate. On the other hand, you want to go back to normal. And it's reality is usually somewhere in between the two. And again, one of the things we don't want to do is we don't want to just stop doing anything, because then we become part of the problem, in the sense we're going to create a shutdown of the country, and we don't want to do that. And for us as airplane pilots and enthusiasts, again, building and even flying like this, we're two people in an airplane, but again, we're not out in a large group or anything like that. So really can do our part in doing as much as we can that way. Those of you that are planning to do the online virtual workshop, normally the demo flight is part of the workshop experience. We'll definitely make sure to give you the opportunity, even if it's at a later time, to go up for a demo flight in the airplane and learn, experience this yourself. It's because again, there's one of the reasons we love doing this in live in the cockpit is because there's no better place to be than right here, flying and enjoying the flight.
Well, right now they could take a demo flight, just start reviewing all the old YouTube videos, going in and out of the air shows or customer demo flights, and learn from that right now.
Yeah, if you're isolated at home, and we were talking about this earlier today, but we're relatively free here, because we live out in the country and there haven't been any cases right here, but we certainly feel for those folks that are locked down in their homes, in apartments and so forth in the major cities. And again, reaching out on social media and the internet is a great way to learn more about building and flying. Again, we've got tons of videos of past demo flights, things like that. Take advantage of that, and again, pick up the phone. We are available, and as long as we're able to answer the phone, we plan on doing that. Whether it's a tech question, whether it's to order something from us, or whether it's just to chat and talk about airplanes, we'll definitely look forward to doing that as long as we can.
Well, I think we should head back and do a couple landings and talk through a landing or two, and
Absolutely. Yeah, it's starting to look like springtime out here. We got some green fields and starting to look like spring.
Well, in the past, we always said spring started when we returned back from Sun and Fun. So we can't say it's spring until next week.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And it is unfortunate about Sun and Fun, but we all understand why they've had to cancel this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it'll just be something we'll try to get back to normal and continue to build and fly our airplanes. And again, I encourage those of you out there that are currently still building and flying, again, share what you're doing with others. That be a source of inspiration for those that are unable to do that right now, so that again we can get through this all together and get back to normal, back to building and flying our airplanes as quickly as we can. So our scheduled virtual online workshop that will be on April the 23rd. That's going to be a Thursday, and and rather than change the time or anything else, we're going to keep it exactly as we would do a normal workshop, except we're going to do it again as a live online event, so where people can participate from their home. So if you're a builder that's looking at doing that, we're going to ship the rudder kit ahead of time to you. And that's basically we ship it by UPS. It's in a wood box, but it's a very manageable thing. And so to build the workshop, what do customers have to do to prepare on their side?
Well, they need to at least get like a 4x4 size table, nice and flat. They'll need a few basic hand tools, a cordless drill or an air drill. A couple drill bits would be nice to either clean out a few holes or to drill a few holes. 50 or so Clecos of each size, Cleco pliers, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you can order the more tools you have, the better off you are, but you don't need a lot of tools.
You don't need that, right?
No.
Because again, we're going to be doing strictly the STOL CH750 Super Duty, this airplane. And the reason we're doing that is because to do it virtually, just doing one model will be easier. And being our latest and greatest airplane, it's quite popular. That's what a lot of folks do want to build, as well as it's also the most advanced kit. We do have final hole size match drilled parts throughout on the airplane. So, and again, through the website, you can order all the tools as well as all more details on ordering the kit. And then again, so we'll be starting at 9 o'clock on Thursday the 23rd and going through the entire process of building the rudder. And being the Super Duty, we've only scheduled it for one full day because it really is something you can accomplish in a day of work. And again, we'll see with the various media how we can do it, but we'll definitely have interactivity where participants can ask questions and provide feedback, and as well as we're going to try to make this a public event where those of you that aren't building or all the Zenith builders that have already built can still check in, send us words of encouragement, send those builders that are still working on it, again, send messages and notes to us, and we'll try to share that as much as we possibly can. And so that it becomes a positive experience for everybody involved. And again, rather than sit at home, watching TV is actually building a rudder and getting started on your airplane. So we feel fortunate to be able to have the opportunity to do this for you, and I hope as many of you can take advantage of this opportunity as well. So we're here right over the airport, over Mexico Memorial Airport, and I think we're going to try to land on the grass again.
Sure. So what I'm on the left downwind, and what I like to do is basically I don't reduce the power until I beam the numbers. Then I'll reduce power just enough to be able to bleed off a little bit of airspeed to get it into white arc, so I can lower the flaps. So I'll lower the flaps probably 10 or 15%, and then I start my descent 500 feet a minute or so.
And again, we're in the STOL CH750 Super Duty model, and the Super Duty has a much larger engine than the standard STOL. The cabin itself is actually fairly similar.
Right. And then from this point on, base to final, I won't deploy any more flaps until I'm on short final. As any airplane, critical point is on base to final. You just want to keep that practice up, even though the Super Duty is not an issue. Just want to keep that habit. When I get on final, I'll deploy the rest of the flaps. And at this point, if you want to know an airspeed, it'll probably be in the mid-50s. And what I like to do is I like to maintain a little higher approach than most aircraft and develop a little sink rate. And then I control that sink rate with power and then pitch. So if I feel like I'm sinking too fast, I'll add a little bit of power.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get all aggressive to land short of this airplane. It really doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it's designed to do that. So
right.
It's a normal landing is going to be short.
Right, and then when you get very close to the runway, then you're going to start bringing the nose up, and then you're going to start adding power at the same time. I'll just exaggerate a little bit there. Then hold it, whoop, and then chop it. And you want to keep the stick all the way back, keep that nose. Now, I can keep the nose up if I add a little bit of power like that.
Right.
And I got full flaps still, but I'm doing a go around, so it's fine. Just a little bit more drag. And cleared my obstacles. Bring up the flaps.
Because that was pretty good. Our landing roll itself, that was very short, wasn't it?
And it takes a little bit to get used to. It's almost when you're going that extreme with the nose up like that, it's like a tail dragger. You can't see anything in front of you very much, and you're going blind just for a second. That's if you go extreme.
Right, right.
The nice thing is you don't have to worry about ground looping in this.
No.
It's not a tail dragger.
No, and even then with the side visibility like that, like you say, it's on the nose it is, but you still, the visibility in this thing is just amazing. So we'll loop around quickly again.
And we're getting quite a few customers flying their STOL aircraft in the different events throughout the U.S., which is nice to see. I was watching the Texas show, STOL competition, and we had a customer in the 750 from Oklahoma, and is a very low time pilot. He did an excellent job. You know, he was not trying to prove anything, and did excellent. I can't remember his name, but man, he did a really good job.
And then of course John Dubbert was there as well in the Super 701. Now he's been really quite the expert at, or he's become quite the expert, even though he's also a relatively low-time pilot, but he's really enjoying the competitive side of the STOL competition.
Right.
And so he's been coming out and really, really very impressive. And again, with his standard little 701, he's got a big engine with the UL power engine in it, but a standard tricycle gear 701, and he's doing extremely well, especially when you compare that he's competing with these guys with special purpose-built STOL airplanes that they're even trailering into these events. So.
Right. Yeah, basically he has a stock 701.
Yeah, oh yeah, he does amazingly well. All right, we're on final again here on the grass for runway 18. Nice and slow here in the 50s.
Just got to be ready to add a little bit of power if you need it. That's the only thing.
Nice and short again. That's, again, landing roll here.
Yep.
100 feet.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all, you know, picking that spot on that runway. Yep. You want to go around again, or you?
No, let's keep going.
We got tech support to take care of.
I know it. I know it. It's kind of tempting
Look at this
sometimes.
nose, see?
I know. Oh yeah. Well, that's where I see what you're saying as a tail dragger, because our forward visibility is right in front is not very good because our nose is right up in the air, but we still have, again, on the sides like this, is amazing visibility.
Now they had a guy that just broke the record on taxiing with the nose wheel. I think it'd be pretty easy in this airplane to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I see if you can see your feet here, you're kind of dancing on the feet, you know, especially with a little bit of gust, you know, keeping the rudder nicely centered. I know, and you're a tail dragger pilot, so you're used to dancing, aren't you? Absolutely.
That's going to be hard to turn here just because of the wind. Yep, see, I couldn't hold it.
Yeah. But again, that's a sturdy nose gear strut on there. Like, I mean, it's made for these rougher operations like that.
It is.
Well, it was a real pleasure for us to go flying again this morning, and again, a good opportunity to share what's going on with Zenith Aircraft, especially during this coronavirus pandemic. And definitely invite all of you to stay active. Don't get too discouraged by all of this, and we'll all get together through this together. And reach out to us if there's anything that we can do to help you guys build and fly your airplanes.